Welcome. And thank you for listening. Today, we live in a world full of uncertainty, emotional challenges, and relentless demands. As we search for ways to manage stress, anxiety, and internal conflict, two powerful tools have emerged, one ancient, one modern. They are Stoicism, a Greco-Roman philosophy over 2,000 years old, and cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, a leading psychological treatment rooted in scientific research. While these approaches seem distant in time and tradition, they share a surprising kinship. In this audiobook, we'll explore how Stoicism and CBT align, differ, and complement one another. Whether you're seeking philosophical guidance or practical tools for emotional well-being, you'll find something here to help you navigate life with more resilience and clarity. Let's begin. Chapter 1, Foundations of Two Worlds. Stoicism began in the 3rd century BCE, founded by Zeno of Citium and further developed by Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. It emphasizes rational thinking, virtue, and emotional resilience. At its heart lies the dichotomy of control, the distinction between what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and judgments, and what we cannot, external events, other people's behavior, or fate. CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy, emerged in the 20th century through the work of Aaron T. Beck and Albert Ellis. It's based on the idea that our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are interconnected. By identifying and challenging distorted thoughts, CBT helps individuals reframe their thinking and improve emotional outcomes. Both systems ask a fundamental question: is what I'm thinking accurate, helpful, and within my control? Additionally, both Stoicism and CBT emphasize personal responsibility. Instead of blaming external circumstances, they direct attention inward, focusing on how we interpret, respond, and grow. Chapter 2, The Stoic Influence on CBT. The connection between Stoicism and CBT isn't coincidental. Albert Ellis, creator of Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy, REBT, a precursor to CBT, openly acknowledged Stoicism's influence, particularly the writings of Epictetus. One of Epictetus's most famous quotes is, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." This echoes directly in CBT's premise: it's not events themselves, but how we interpret them, that causes distress. CBT and Stoicism both emphasize challenging irrational beliefs. In CBT, clients learn to recognize cognitive distortions, like catastrophizing, overgeneralizing, or black and white thinking. Stoicism teaches that we should use reason to examine impressions before accepting them. Another important influence is the Stoic commitment to daily reflection. Just as CBT encourages journaling to track thoughts, Stoics practice nightly introspection to evaluate the day and prepare for the next. Chapter 3, The Role of Emotions. In modern therapy, emotions are not enemies, they are signals. CBT seeks to understand emotions and regulate them through cognitive restructuring. Similarly, Stoicism doesn't repress emotion, contrary to popular belief. Instead, it teaches us to manage our passions and not let them override reason. Seneca wrote extensively on anger, fear, and grief, not to banish them entirely, but to offer strategies for mastering them. Both Stoicism and CBT see emotional regulation as a skill that can be cultivated. CBT therapists use techniques like mood tracking and thought records. Stoics used journaling and premeditatio malorum, imagining adversity before it strikes, to emotionally prepare and strengthen the self. Stoics also differentiate between pathé, destructive emotions, and eupatheia, positive emotional states like joy in virtue. This aligns with CBT's aim to reduce maladaptive emotions while nurturing healthier ones. Chapter 4, Rationality and the Inner Dialogue. CBT involves questioning irrational beliefs. For example, I failed once, so I'll always fail. CBT would challenge, what evidence do you have for that belief? Can you think of counterexamples? Stoicism uses similar reasoning. Epictetus reminds us that our distress is not from the external world but from the narratives we attach to it. He urges us to inspect our thoughts. Is this thought aligned with reason and virtue? This reflective process creates psychological distance, a moment between stimulus and response, where growth happens. Moreover, Stoicism emphasizes the discipline of assent, which is the practice of accepting or rejecting thoughts after critical evaluation. This is strikingly similar to CBT's cognitive restructuring method. Chapter 5, Practical Techniques, Ancient and Modern. Let's compare some common techniques. Thought records, CBT, tracks situations, thoughts, feelings, and alternative responses. Daily journaling, Stoicism, reflect on the day's actions, thoughts, and what was within your control. Cognitive restructuring, CBT, reframe negative or unhelpful thoughts. Premeditatio malorum, Stoicism, visualize difficulties to prepare for them calmly. Behavioral activation, CBT, engage in meaningful activities to improve mood. Virtuous action, Stoicism, live according to virtue, regardless of how you feel. Mindfulness, modern CBT integration, pay attention to the present without judgment. Stoic mindfulness, be aware of impulses and impressions before reacting. Graded exposure, CBT, gradually face feared situations. Voluntary discomfort, Stoicism, intentionally embrace challenges to reduce fear and build resilience. Each of these practices fosters greater agency. They help us move from reactivity to reflection, and from fear to self-mastery. Chapter 6, Strengths and Scope. CBT is evidence-based and widely effective for anxiety, depression, PTSD, OCD, and more. It is collaborative, goal-oriented, and typically short-term. CBT empowers individuals to become their own therapist over time. Stoicism is a lifelong philosophy. It provides moral grounding, existential purpose, and guidance in adversity. While not a medical treatment, it complements therapy by building inner strength and character. CBT shines in clinical settings. Stoicism excels as a life philosophy. Combined, they support both mental health and moral clarity. Another key distinction is focus. CBT emphasizes symptom reduction, Stoicism emphasizes meaningful living through virtue. Yet both ultimately aim for psychological flourishing. Chapter 7, Limitations and Differences. While similar, the two approaches are not identical. CBT is rooted in empirical science, diagnosis, and structured exercises. Stoicism is broader, philosophical, and value-driven. CBT addresses specific conditions, Stoicism addresses how to live well overall. CBT may involve working with a therapist, Stoicism is often self-applied. There's also a cultural difference, CBT is secular and modern, Stoicism arises from ancient virtue ethics. That said, a CBT client can benefit from adopting Stoic principles of self-reflection, resilience, and purpose. Likewise, a Stoic practitioner may benefit from CBT tools that offer measurable, structured progress. Chapter 8, Real-World Application. Meet Alex, a young professional struggling with anxiety. Through CBT, Alex learns to challenge distorted beliefs and reduce panic attacks. Through Stoicism, Alex learns to accept what's out of his control, focus on values, and maintain equanimity in chaos. Or Maya, dealing with grief. CBT helps her process loss, identify thinking traps, and regain routine. Stoicism offers perspective on mortality, impermanence, and gratitude for what was. And then there's Derek, a high achiever battling burnout. CBT helps him break the cycle of perfectionism. Stoicism reminds him that external success is less important than inner virtue. These two paths don't compete. They complement. Chapter 9, Integrating Stoicism and CBT in Daily Life. Here's how a day could look. Morning, read a Stoic quote. Reflect on potential challenges. Visualize how to respond with patience and courage. Midday, use CBT to track your mood and challenge irrational beliefs. Ask, what's another way of viewing this situation? Evening, journal like a Stoic. What did you do well? Where could you improve? Express gratitude. Over time, this becomes a rhythm, a daily practice of self-awareness and emotional hygiene. Even a 5-minute ritual of reflection and redirection can lead to long-term change. Chapter 10, Conclusion, Resilience into Languages. Whether you come to these ideas through philosophy or psychology, what matters most is how they help you live. Both CBT and Stoicism teach us this: you are not powerless against your thoughts. You are not at the mercy of the world. With practice, reflection, and intention, you can train your mind, just as you would train your body, to face life's trials with calm and strength. Ancient wisdom and modern science have joined forces, and through them, so can you. Thank you for listening.